Shalom, shalom. It's your favorite Aki out here showing you, giving you an update on what I've completed today. It's been about a week since I've been on. The weather's been cold and rainy, so I haven't been out here as much. So I decided today, even though it's a little cold, to come out here and get started anyway. So resist the temptation to say I'll wait till warm up some. But I got the leaves that we raked up in the pile, got them all up. If you go back and look at the previous video, you'll see that leaves were lined all along here. It was a lot of leaves. So I got all those up. Made a lot of progress. I'm starting to see the form of this place just transforming. So I'm starting to see it. I can see the vision. Now that I got the leaves up, I got to go back behind with a rake and with a kind of a shovel to get a lot of these little bushes dug up, dig them up some more. Then I'm gonna put some paper down, some of the garden paper, and then sand, and then I'm gonna put some crushed rock over top of that. This is where my camper is gonna go. So kind of showing you the vision before it happened. So when you see it, when it come to fruition, you're like, oh, that place transformed. So my camper that's in my garage is gonna go right here. I'm gonna have a cook station. It's gonna be kind of like a chef corner. So I kind of got a vision out here for my camper, a little table to sit at, a little fire pit, and a few grills and stuff so I can cook. Plan on mastering my grilling this year. Really want to master briskets and beef ribs and things of that nature. So there's a lot of leaves here. But I didn't just get on here to show you the progress. As I was raking out here, the message that the Most High gave me to give you is that what he gave to me was that we missed the Eazy Bus. We missed it. So those who are listening to me right now, the Eazy Bus has already left. It's left the station. It's not coming back around, and you sitting waiting on it for it to become easy. You're going to frustrate yourself, and you're not going to be making any progress. So stop looking for the Most High and what's easy. It's going to be difficult from this point on. And if it is something that's easy, you need to question, is that something you should be doing, or are you operating beneath your potential and you're taking an easy route? But your blessing is going to come in some difficult situations. So if you're looking or waiting for that Eazy Bus, that bus has left the station, you missed it, and they're not in circulation anymore. So one or two things are going to happen. You got to start putting one step in front of the other and then get to a place. If you got a bike, ride a bike. If you got a beater, drive a beater. Whatever it is that you need to get from where you are to where you need to go, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be cold. It may be raining. It's going to be uphill. You may be underemployed or unemployed. You may have trouble in your relationship. You may not be where you want to be financially. You may not be where you want to be spiritually, physically. Like, I'm operating on the strength that Abba Yahuwah provides, with both my hips replaced in with screws in my wrists and just out of shape a little bit. Even though I'm trying to get fit by 50, I'm not where I used to be. Obviously, I'm about to be 50, but I'm working to increase that. But you're going to have to start from where you are to get to where you're going. Because if you don't start now, it's not going to get easier. The more you delay and the more you wait, the harder it's going to become. So you might as well get started now. Start doing the hard things. There's a saying that says, if you do the easy things, your life will become hard. If you do the hard things, your life will become easy. And what I mean by easy, it doesn't mean like things won't bother you. It won't mean that it will be easy. It means that you'll be stronger. You're able to do extra reps. You're able to put some extra weight on the bar. So showing you some more of the progress, a recap. But we did a lot of progress in the back when he was here. Don didn't come today. Come to find out, Don got a job, so I got to work around his work schedule now. So there's going to be a lot more work that I have to do, which means that it won't be easy. I got to get started. I can't wait till I feel like it. I can't wait till ideal situations. I got to get started on doing a little. And what I've learned that is when you meet the Most High with your little, that he's Elohim that multiplies. He's able to do exceedingly abundantly above you able to ask, think, or imagine. But he wants you to be all in. You got to push your chips. You can kind of see the progress, interrupting my little soapbox. But before, you couldn't even see the pond because there were bushes. There were bushes in front of this tree here. All the green bushes. If you go back to a previous video, you'll see it. And there were bushes in front of of the pond. So now we at least got a line of sight to the pond, and I'm getting visions on what I want to do down there. I'm seeing visions, but it's clearing up. The wife said, instead of putting the fence up there, she would like, after we get all these dead trees, maybe plant some new trees, some new life, so I have a natural fence. And as I was reading in Zechariah today, the Most High made a promise to the people. He says, I will be a wall and a fence to my people. So you don't need to build barriers or something to keep people out. Once you live in a righteous life, the Most High is going to protect you from a lot of those things. And his protection may come in the form of saying no. It may come in the form of a broken relationship where people start walking away from you, and you might not wonder why this didn't work out. And then you'll start to see like that's the Most High protecting you. So stop looking at no as a means of rejection and look at it as a redirection or a blessing, because sometimes the biggest blessing you will get is in the time when people walk away from you. It would be in the time that you didn't get that advancement. It'll be in the time when you felt like all were against you, and then you'll look back on it and see that was the catalyst that the Most High used to really multiply. So we're going to get all the dead stuff out, and we understand that this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. So we're going to do what we can, and then we may not plant trees this year. We may plant one, but this is a marathon. We're going to continue to build. Got all this done. If you go back to the previous video, there was a dead tree that was hanging over this pathway here. So we got that dead tree out, and it's cleaned up, and I'll show you. But this is where the green bushes, they were all growing out of control right here. So we chopped those down, and I'm going to clean this up a little more, get this raked up, and there's going to be a little sitting spot. I'm going to turn this back into a little fire pit, get a little some stones around here, probably dig it out, make it a fire pit. You see the little windmill? That's an addition. I was on Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, that'll look good right here on this little peak. And I'll use it probably as an arts and craft and come and repaint it or update it. I may put some solar lights or something on there. But I just thought like, man, when I seen it, I was like, I got a place for that. So get started, and you will start to get the vision, and you'll start to see things come to fruition. We cut down some trees here. All these were blocked off. This was trees and bushes. You couldn't see the pond because of the trees and the bushes. So now that we got it cut off, now we can see back here. We still, well, I said we, Don got a job. So I guess I got to stop saying we. I got to say I until I find my next helper. But the thing about it is, get started, in the Most High will send help along the way. And as I was working today, the Most High dropped in my ruach, in my spirit. It's like, He does miracles. You can look out through scriptures. He doesn't do average things. He doesn't use just the average thing. He takes a little and he makes a lot. Like when he told Abraham to depart from a land and that you were going to inherit to a land that I would show you, Abraham was going to inherit all his father. He was the oldest. He was due to inherit the inheritance from his father. So if it was going to be easy, the Most High could have waited a few years, or he could have caused his father to rest and go to sleep and say, now, Abraham, now that you inherited this land, I want you to steward it right. But he didn't want to take what his father had, because he wanted to do a new thing. He needed to develop Abraham's faith by trusting in him. That's why it talks about in Hebrews, it was accounted to Abraham righteousness because he believed to him. And that's why he's a friend of Elohim, because he believed him. He left that knowing that if he was leaving that, the Most High was going to provide for him. So he didn't just let him stay there and inherit it and then take over from a righteous reign from that point forward. He moved him to a whole new land, and it had him develop his walk by trusting in him. So that's what I wanted to encourage you to do, is get started. He doesn't do the easy. Stop looking for the Most High in the easy. If you're looking for him to give you 50 cents for a cup of coffee, man, that's something you can do on your own. But when he puts you into a situation that, he forces you to grow, develop, mature, then that's where he's really going to start doing the master craftsman work that only he can do. You can't see it right now, but I see it. Through all these bushes around there that grew out because it was neglected, there's a path that goes around this pond. So what I'm going to do is start cleaning out some of this path over here, and I'm going to create kind of a fishing spot over there. There's a little spot over there that I'm going to create a fishing spot and kind of renew, because this pond was kind of neglected. So I got to get this cleaned up around here. Like I said, we cut down this tree that was hanging over, and some of the dead trees that was up here, and that's the wood from the tree that was hanging over. So we started stacking it and creating another wood pile down here. So a lot of progress have been made. Got to get to a point where I can start getting another helper or getting down here and do it myself. The weather, it wasn't cooperating last week. It would get cold. I kind of glossed over where I put the seed at, and I'm not sure how much I'm going to get out of that seed, because right after I put it down, the next day it started snowing and it's been cold. So it's almost been like too cold for the seed. You know, you're supposed to have the seed above 32 degrees, and last week it still was below that, so a lot of that stuff might have left. Down here I'm going to clearing this out, and I'm thinking about you can see this is where the pond lets out, and it continues on this way through there, and that's my land down there, but that's wetland. But you can kind of see the path here, so I'm going to kind of get like a bridge to go over here, maybe clear this out and have something circle all the way around, and probably put a sitting area down here, a picnic table, clear out some of these right here. The ideal is the intention is to get power back here, because I want a water fountain, and we may have to do it in phases. So I got to get some irrigation in the pond. I've been told there's smallmouth bass, some perch. No, there wasn't perch, bluegill. Some smallmouth bass and bluegills that are in this pond. So I'm gonna get in here and try to clean some of it out. Get a water fountain. Look at that bird. That's beautiful. Man, that's the thing about nature. It's just so beautiful and so peaceful hearing these birds sing. And I can just imagine when these trees turn all the way green. I'll give you an updated video on there too, but it's just beautiful. So I'll have a sitting area, probably like a table, a picnic table or something down here to sit, and then the water fountain. So the ideal is to get power down here somehow. Get a thing where I can put power out down here that'll power the water fountain, and with lights and stuff that's colorful. So that's kind of the vision. But back to this journey that we're walking. You know, the fastest way to get to Mount Everest, no matter where you are, depends on where you're starting from. The fastest way to get there is to ensure that every step you take is in that direction. So once you set a goal and you start working towards that goal, you got to be intentional with your decisions to make sure that your steps are towards your goal. And like I said, at times it won't feel good. At times it'll be difficult. At times you may want to give up. At times you may think that you bit off more than you can chew. At times you may think like, oh man, what did I get myself into? And if that thought ever come into your mind, just know that you're a candidate for a miracle. That you are a prime applicant from doing something that's miraculous, that's special. Because when the Most High had them Hebrew boys in that fiery furnace, you know, they thought the people that was persecuting them thought that they were going to consume them, but they were refined in the furnace because they said there was a fourth man there. And when it talks about Daniel, how he refused to eat the king's meat, and he said, try me, that I don't need your diet. What I'm going to do will exceed those who eat your food. So try me. And the Most High showed up and he did miraculous things. You know, when it was David, he was out in the little shepherd boy. You know, they came and interviewed all the other brothers and they said, it got to be someone else. There's got to be someone else. And he was busy doing his job. He was busy doing the things that he had to do right that moment. But he was a king at that moment because the Most High had anointed him that he was going to be king. So no matter how many other brothers he looked at, he had to ask the Father, like, there's got to be someone else. And there was someone else. He was busy being a shepherd. He was busy being refined, doing the work that he needed to do. So he was actually preparing for his kingdom. So it could be difficult. It could be challenging. Like sometimes it's overwhelming. Like I got moles here. Man, these some big holes. And I have to remind myself that I have dominion over everything that swims and everything that creeps on the air. Because if you're not careful, you can look at these things, not only moles, but coyotes and little things like that, little wolves and things like that. You can or snakes that's going through the grass. You may see, there may be a time where you can be like, wow, and let fear creep in. But I have to remind myself, no, I have dominion over everything, and speak life and speak with confidence that the Most High would never leave me nor forsake me. So I'm going to conclude this video by just showing you some of the grass. Some of it is coming in, but I think the weather wasn't really on my side. But then it's a lesson learned, because in life, when you look at it from a wise perspective, it's no losses, it's lesson learned. That's why I have a motto that says I can never lose, because even when I lose, I have successfully found out something that didn't work so I can begin more intelligently. So I know, as I've been doing my research, you're supposed to wait for a consecutive week of weather for the ground to warm up and it to unthaw and stuff of that nature. And I got excited because one day last week or the week before, we had 76 degrees, and I got excited and I try to accelerate the process. But once again, the shortcut is the long way around. If you got time enough to do it again, then you had time enough to do it right the first time. So don't be in a hurry. Do it right. Be intentional. So you got to make sure that you don't avoid the hard thing and go to the easy thing, because easy is the path of destruction. It says broad is the way to destruction, but narrow is the way to life. On that narrow road, people won't understand. You may be walking along. People like, it don't take all that. Why are you doing that? You're doing the most. Like, it'd be easier if you would have just did this. And they would give you every explanation of why you don't need to be doing what you're doing. But you look at the fruit they have in their life, and that's not where you want to be. And you realize that, okay, why don't you live your life by your decisions, and I'll live my life by mine. So the easy road has left. The bus has left. It's not coming back. Make sure you prepare your heart for the hard things. And the hard things should be your work ethic. It shouldn't be your heart, because your heart still has to be pliable for the Most High to use. But in all you're getting, get an understanding and do your best. And that's all that that they can ask you to do. In the end, all you can do is all you can do. Your job is to ensure that you do all you can do. Shalom, shalom.